my name is Vivian Vanessa with student number B1024201004. I'm from International Management class. Today I'm in a good condition, and in this video I would like to explain a material from chapter 1 that titled Human Resource Management in Organizations. So here it is. As introduction, I would like to explain about what is HRM, or known as Human Resource Management. HRM itself is about fulfilling management objective of providing and deploying people, and a greater emphasis on planning, controlling, and also monitoring. And do you know that organizational culture and HR itself are related? They even have 4 areas which are being a part of these relationships. Organizational culture does relate to the HR in a company. Why? Because the culture of an organization is made by the HRD and spread through every employee in a company. It is seen in the norms of expected behaviors and also values used by its employees. Organizational culture is inherent in the ways of organization and their members treat people, both inside and also outside of the company. HR management can play a significant role in organizations by helping to create a culture that emphasizes effectiveness and also productivity of the company. 4 areas that are being a part of these relationships are: first, restructuring the organization involved eliminating late years of management and changing reporting relationship, as well as cutting staff through downsizing, layoff, and early retirement buyout programs. Second, redesigning work. It involves changing overlaps and combining jobs, and also reshaping jobs due to the technology advances. Third one is aligning HR activities. It means making HR efforts consistent with organizational efforts to improve the productivity. This alignment includes ensuring that HR functions are not working against the productivity of the company. And the last one is outsourcing. It involves HR in conducting cost-benefit analysis just to justify the outsourcing. It includes negotiating with outsourcing vendors and ensuring that contractors domestically and internationally instead of the employee. And do you know organizational ethical issues can affect the HR management? That is true, because HR management in a company is the base of the creating good culture for the company. If there is an ethical issue caused by the employee in a company, HR department will be questioned. Why? It is because how people in organizations are making ethical decisions on daily basis, since HR management plays a key role as the keeper and voice of organizational ethics. All managers, including HR managers, must deal with ethical issues and be sensitive to how they interplay the HR activities. To help HR professionals deal with ethical issues, so the Society for Human Resource Management has developed a code of ethics for its members and provide information on handling ethical issues and also policies. Nowadays, HR has to face 6 challenges, and you may be wonder about what is the 6 of them. Okay, I will define them one by one. The first one is engaging the workforce. It is how important we feel employee engagement is to the overall health and also future viability of any organization is crucial and still become a job for HR team. The second one is attracting talent to the enterprise. A tight labor market will more than likely make a talent acquisition a challenging and endeavor for organization this year. The third one is managing relationships. Manage people with a lot of kind of mind and behavior is not a small thing to be dealt with, because communication between them have to be well. Next one is diversity in workplace. It happens everywhere and in every almost organization, diversity exists, but it doesn't mean it can't be united. With a great strategy by HR, the diverse will be beautiful. And the next one, Or the fourth one is training and development strategies. The challenge is devoted adequate concern and resources toward these essential components of growth and productivity. And the last one is embrace inevitable changes. Technology advances move so fast, so the HR team should follow the advances also in order to avoid outdated of technology nowadays. Okay, you may not know that actually the major roles of HR management are being transformed. That is true, because the transformation of HR is nowadays they being more strategic. Traditionally, much of HR has focused on administrative activities and on counting them, such as the number of people hired, total benefit costs, and so on. However, as HR has grown in importance and change, it has to develop measurement of its results, including financial, in order to justify its activities. Meanwhile, along the time, strategic role become major role of HR professionals, and being proactive in addressing business realities and focusing on future business needs, such as strategic planning, compensation strategies, the HR performance itself, and also measuring the result of the company production. Okay, the next topic is, if you want to be a part of HR, you have to know the key competencies needed by HR professional, and you have to know why certification is important for the HRM. Research has indicated that HR professionals at all levels need the following. First, strategic knowledge and impact. It means many executive managers and HR professionals are increasingly seeing the need of HR management to become greater strategic contributor to the business success of organization. Second, legal, administrative, and operational capabilities. The function is to make HR policy and processing, and also record keeping data. The third one is technology knowledge and usage abilities to make every job become fast and efficient, and also effectively indeed. And the last one but not the least, that certifications become important since it helps both individuals and employees in a company to make HR management become better in performing their job as the part of the relationship. Besides that, you also have to know the core competencies in possible HR areas because it's also important. A core competency is a unique capability that creates high value and differentiates an organization from other competitors in the business field. There are 4 core competencies in possible HR areas. First one is productivity. It is about how the employee work performance in resulting something. Second is quality service. We know quality service will determine how comfortable people would be. The third one is employee skill. It's about how employees can use and upgrading their skill in a company and also performing their job. And the fourth one is innovative operations. Employees not only have to follow the job requirement from the company, but they also can improve their way in being productive for a company. Along the way, we have already talked about human resource management itself, and you may be wondered about what is the difference between human capital and also human resource. Human capital is the collective value of capabilities, knowledge, skill, life experiences, and also motivation of an organizational workforce. Sometimes, human capital is called intellectual capital to reflect the thinking, knowledge, creativity, and decision-making that people in organizations contribute. Meanwhile, Human resource is the human potential with unlimited capability that has possibility of improving efficiency, productivity, and also profitability. Human resource is represented by their skill, knowledge, and also expertise. The next one is about the human resource function. There are 7 HR management functions that I will be defined one by one. The first one is strategic HR management. As a part of maintaining organizational competitiveness, strategic planning of HR effectiveness can be increased through the use of HR metrics and also HR technology. The second one is equal employment opportunity and also compliance with equal employment opportunity, or we call it as EEO. Laws and also regulations affect all other HR activities. The third one is staffing. The aim of staffing is to provide a sufficient supply of qualified individuals to fill jobs in an organization, or we known as right man at the right place. The job analysis, there are job analysis, recruiting, and also selecting in staffing. The next one is talent management and also development. In here, we have several activities to do, such as orientation, training, HR development, career planning, and also performance management. Next, we have total rewards. Compensation in the form of pay, incentive, and benefit rewards people for performing organizational work is very important. And the next one is risk management and worker protection. It is protection for workers by meeting legal requirements and being more responsive to concerns for workplace health and safety, security and disaster, and also recovery planning for all employees that work for a company. And the last one is employee and labor relation. The relationships between managers and their employee must go well. In this section, we'll meet employee rights and privacy, HR policies, and management relations. The next one that will be explained is about the figure 1.2 in the chapter 1 of the book, that name concerning about HR management function. There are 7 HR management functions. The first one is strategic HR management. As a part of maintaining organizational competitiveness, strategic planning for HR effectiveness can be increased through the use of HR metrics and also HR technology. The second one is equal employment opportunity. Compliance with equal employment opportunity, or we known as EEO, laws and regulations affects all other HR activities. The third one is staffing. The aim of staffing is to provide a sufficient supply of qualified individuals to fill the jobs in an organization. There are job analysis, recruiting, and also selecting in staffing. The third one is talent management and development. In here, we have several activities to do, such as orientation, training, HR development, career planning, and also performance management. The fourth one is total rewards, compensation in the form of pay, incentive, and benefits rewards people for performing organizational work to be better. The fifth is risk management and worker protection. It is protection for workers by meeting legal requirements and being more responsive to concerns about workplace health and safety, security and disaster, and also recovery planning. The last one is employee and labor relations. The relationship between managers and their employee must go well. And in this section, we'll meet employee rights and privacy, HR policies, and management relationship. Next, I will talk about HR management contributing role. So the first one is we have organizational culture. Organizational culture consists of the shared values and beliefs that give members of an organization meaning and provide them with rules for the behavior. HR plays a role in making a good culture for the company in order to make the work living in a company feels comfortable for every employee that works there. A value has to be created in a company because this thing will lead all people to treat each other well and will lead outsider of the company perspective towards our company as good. The second one is we have organizational productivity. Productivity is a measure of quantity and quality of the work that have done, considering the cost of resources that have been used. Productivity can be a competitive advantage because when the cost to produce goods and services are lowered by effectiveness of the process, so the lower prices can be charged or more revenue can be made. HR plays role in productivity in organization because HR can improve how organizational productivity become more efficient and also effective. The next one is HR roles in social responsibility. Social responsibility and networking have become more prevalent as organizational culture issues. Part of HR management in here is to ensure that social responsibility is integrated into the organizational culture. Next is HR roles in customer service and quality. Linking HR to social responsibility, customer service and quality significantly affects the organizational effectiveness. Why? Because having a managers and employee focus on customer, it contributes significantly to achieving organizational goals and maintaining competitiveness advantage. The last one role is HR role in employee engagement. Employee engagement is such a crucial part of effective HRM. It is linking to social networking also. Either employee engagement or social networking, both of them are linking to the advances of technology. Next, we'll talk about organizational productivity that I have talked before, but in here I will explain more and also explain the approaches to improving organizational productivity. Okay, I will explain one more time about organizational productivity. Organizational productivity is a measure of quantity and quality of work that have done, considering the cost of resources that have been used. Productivity can be a competitive advantage because when the cost to produce goods and services are lowered by effective process, the lower prices can be charged or the company can make more revenue than before. Here are the approaches to improving organizational productivity. First, restructuring the organization involves eliminating layers of management and changing reporting relationships as well as cutting staff through the downsizing, layoff, and early retirement buyout programs. The second one is redesigning work, involves changing overloads and combining jobs, and also we do reshaping jobs due to the technology and changes. The third one is aligning HR activities. It means making HR efforts consistent with organizational effort to improve the productivity. This is also include ensuring that HR functions in a company that working is not against the productivity of the company. The fourth one is outsourcing. In outsourcing, HR conducting cost-benefit analysis to justify the outsourcing. It includes negotiating with outsourcing vendors and ensuring that contractors can be made domestically or even internationally instead of the employee from the company. Do you know, in HRM itself, they have two words that is growing green. Okay, we may see from HR perspective itself what is growing green. Growing green can result in reduced operational costs that linking to HR policies on recycling and creating less waste and pollution, reducing lighting and power usage, and many other means. HR has a key role in green efforts. Why? It is because the need to communicate, train, and enforce the relevant green requirements with employees and managers throughout the organization is important. Also, safety and health issues may be affected by these efforts. In summary, HR management will have an increasingly green role in both large and small companies. The next will be discussed is about customer service and quality linked to HR. Linking HR to social responsibility, customer service, and quality significantly affects the organizational effectiveness. Having managers and employees that focus on their customer, it can contribute significantly to achieve the organizational goal, become more efficient and effectively. And also, it can maintain competitive advantages in a company. Service quality is greatly influenced by individual employees who interact with customers. The next one is employee engagement and HR culture. The engagement of employees is crucial goal and linked to an effective organizational culture. And the HRM itself has a role in the employee engagement. Employee engagement is the extent to which individuals feel linked to organizational success and how the organization performs positively. The next one is social networking and engagement. Lack of positive culture can lead to more employee dissatisfaction, turnover, poor service, and other undesirable outcomes and behavior which link to HR to the social networking. This networking involves communicating to other employees, non-work friends, community contacts, and others. In old days, social networking primarily was done through personal contacts or oral communication. But now it has become a massive issue for employees and employers as the technology has expanded so well, which create both good and bad images for the employee and also for the employers. The next one that I will explain is about business ethics and HR management consequences. Organizations that are seen as ethical in the way they operate have long-term success because people in organizations are making ethical decisions on a daily basis. HR management have a key role as the keeper and voice of organization ethics that I have mentioned before. So, when the business ethics in a company doesn't go well, the HR team will be affected and blamed also, since they are the supervisor for every employee and business decision. All managers, including HR manager, must deal with ethical issues and they have to be sensitive on how they interplay with HR activities. Instead of relying just on HR policies and also their laws, people must guide it by values and personal behavior codes. Next, we'll move to current and future HR management challenges. The current and future HR management challenges are actually changes depend on the year and environment where does the company lies. The examples are organizational cost pressures and restructuring where company looking for ways to reduce costs for all aspects, but still facing the competitor in the field, which likely resulted in reducing the number of employees. Responding to organizational cost pressures and restructuring, as well as the other HR challenges, has resulted in the transformation of HR management in organizations. These days, economics and job changes were in the America. The global economy in the past years have changed the number and types of jobs in the field of the business. So in the United States itself, it became a new challenge for the HRM. It also happens in Indonesia. Then I will explain about the talent management and development. A broad focus of HR professional is on talent management and development to address the workforce and job changes. Talent management is a process aimed at driving performance through integrated people management practices. It involves attracting, recruiting, hiring qualified talented individuals, of course, or training, and also developing employees for current and future jobs, which made the talent management nowadays is become so crucial for a company. Do you know the greater use of technologies are affecting how HR activities are performed in many ways? I do really believe this statement because the greater use of technology of HR in a company will affect their performance in ways of more effective and efficient. I take one example. Nowadays, we can easily apply job without have to go to the office. We only need strictly to go to their website on Google and fulfill all administration that needed for the requirement. So the role of technology here is improved so well and help HR administrative become more efficient and so much effective. We have already discussed a lot about HR management itself, and you may be wondering and questioned about how to manage HR in organization. So here I will describe and explain a bit about that. The first one is planning and allocating resources. The second one is providing direction and vision and also goals. The third one is developing an environment in which employees choose motivation and contribution. The fourth one is supplying or asking for the metrics that tell people how successfully they are performing. The fifth one is offering opportunities for both formal and informal development. The sixth one is setting an example in work ethics, treatment of people, and empowerment worthy of being emulated by others. The seventh one is leading organizational effort to listen and serve customers. And the eighth one, or the last one, removing obstacles that impede the employees' progress. The next one that I will talk is about three roles that are typically identified for human resource. The first one is administrative, that are focusing on clerical administration and record keeping, including essential legal paperwork and policy implementation. The administrative role traditionally has been dominant role for the human resource management. Two major drives that transform of the administrative role, they are the greater use of technology and also outsourcing. I will explain them one by one. The first one is the use of technology is to improve the administrative efficiency and the responsiveness of HR to employees and becoming more available electronically and through internet. So every information from the HR from the company can be easily searched and reached by all people in the whole world. And the second one is about outsourcing of HR. Administrative activity has grown dramatically in HR areas, retirement such as in retirement planning, benefit administration, payroll services, and etc. The second one, beside administrative, is here we have operational and employee advocate. It is to manage most HR activities in line with the strategies and operation that have been identified by management and servicing as employee champion and for employee issues in concern. The operational role requires HR professionals to cooperate with various departmental and operating managers and also supervisors. It is to identify and implement needed program and policies in the organization. Operational activities that we have to note here is it is tactical in nature. Third one is strategy. The help to define strategy relative to human capital and its contribution to organizational results. So here, the strategic HR role, it means HR professionals are proactive in addressing business realities and focusing on future business needs, such as strategic planning, compensation strategy, the performance of HR, and measuring its result. Many executive managers and HR professionals are increasingly seeing the need of HR management to become more strategic because the contribute of HR of being more strategic for the business is so great, and it is become the success of the business in organizations. Okay, I have already explained the material of chapter 1 that titled Human Resource Management in Organization. Now I will talk about critical thinking on page 32 and also chapter 1. First is about several areas in which HR can affect organizational culture positively or negatively. Here I will take 3 as the example. The first one is employee relation. It is HR discipline that can affect the organization depending on the way how HR staff interacts with the company workers and leadership. How HR managers employee relations issue can affect the organizational culture, good or bad. Repeatedly addressing and resolving workplace issues, fostering open and candid communication between leadership and staff, and also reinforcing that HR is an advocate for both company and employees are ways positively can affect organizational culture. The second one is compensation. Compensation and benefits are important tools for attracting and retaining talent. If we are not paying workers competitively, or if there are deep divisions between executive and staff paying practices, it can be a negative impact on the organization culture. On the other hand, if our HR team compensation strategy includes rewarding employees for their contribution in company, paying fair wages, and providing comprehensive benefit, this effect will have a good effect too for the company in a positive way, indeed. The third one is workplace safety. Employers have an obligation to provide workers with a safe place for them to work. Training on effective safety measures, evacuation plans, and responses to workplace incidents is essential to ensure employee safety and well-being. The absence of workplace safety policies and procedures results in an environment where employees may feel threatened, which in turn negatively affects productivity, and our organizational culture will be also turned to be bad and negative. The second one is about example of ethical issues that I have experienced in job, and I will explain how HR did or did not help resolve them. But here, since I haven't worked yet, so I will tell experience about from a friend that has been worked for a restaurant, that he wasn't treated well there because his salary was too small and wasn't comparable to his job. But the problem is here cannot be solved well by the HR because the HR was not wise and not good enough, I think, to become and to be called as human resource management. Okay, move to the third one is why is it important for HR management to transform from being, we know that they are traditionally primarily administrative and operational, and now they become more strategic contributor. It is because a negative looks of HR that said they are too administratively focused, so they are called as administrivia. So in overcome these looks, HR transform. So they become more strategic, and it brings good effect because people start see a greater strategic contributor to the business success of organization. In strategic contributor, HR team will interact with people a lot because they do strategic planning, compensation strategies. The performance of HR is also supervised, and also they measure every result that has been produced by the organization. Okay, the fourth one is, here I have assumed that I were an HR director, with I have to require 7 people as my staff. A departmental objective is for all staff members to become professionally certified within a year. So I will develop a table that identifies 4 to 6 certifications that can be obtained by my staff, and I have to show the important details for each certification. So as you can see, here is the table that I have made. I will explain them one by one here. First certification is bachelor or master degree that they get from HRM or psychology. The explanation is, if they have a basic knowledge for HRM, so the work will be easier for them to be done, because they have already understand about what is HRM and what they have to done. The second one is having experience in working for HRM department or in organization. Experience is very important, and we all know that, because they have already felt how to deal with people. So this point for me is so crucial, because you know that practice is always makes people to be perfect. The third one is excellent communication and interpersonal skills. In HRD, we're taking care of the internal cooperation. It is important for having those skills to avoid misunderstanding between employee, and they can start a good relationship with other employee also if they have an excellent communication and also interpersonal skill. The fourth one, it is knowledge of HR functions. So the example of HR function here that I take is pay and benefits, requirement, training and development, and etc. Those knowledges are the best of HR itself, and we know that. So my team must really know well and understand well about HR functions, because they will work as what they know. And the last one is proficient in Microsoft Office, and also knowledge of HRM is a plus point for them, besides their knowledge of HR function. Okay, nowadays all data have to be managed in Microsoft Office. Why? Because everything will become more efficient and more effectively if we use Microsoft Office. So this basic kind of skill will make our work done faster than before. Because if all data that has been collected from all employees managed manually, it will take a very long time to be done. So I don't want that. I want everything go fast and done fast, as fast as we can. So we have to maximize the use or the utilization of the advanced technology that we have nowadays. Okay, the next one, the critical thinking has already done. Now we move to the HR experiential problem solving. Okay, the next one is, the first one is legislative act prompted by many US companies to develop internal ethical policies and procedures. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 is a legislative act that prompted by many US companies to develop internal ethical policies and procedures. A number of HR facets must be managed in line of SOX, or I have mentioned about the Sarbanes-Oxley. It is also called SOX, since it was passed by Congress to make certain that publicly traded companies follow accounting controls that could reduce the likelihood of illegal and unethical behavior. And the second one is key concepts related to the business ethics that should be considered in the development of ethics training program. But before I answer that, we have to understand first about what is ethics training program. Okay, here I will explain a bit about that. Ethics training program refers to the program which is designed by a firm to promote ethical behavior. It provides employees with instruction on how to deal with ethical dilemmas when they occur and improve their overall ethical conduct. Okay, so the key concepts related to business ethics in this program are first, core value of the company. So everyone has to understand well about the value of the corporation where they work because it is important. The core value will make employee work better and motivated. Companies without a clear set of values may find themselves at a disadvantage when developing the ethics program. The second one is responsibility. It is important to ensure everyone is having commitment to finish their job well and taking care of their responsibility for everything that they have done and they have required to do for it. We don't talk about the employees responsible in company only, but also their responsibility outside from the company area. And the third one is respect and trustworthiness. It should be considered because in a company the diversity is so high, so the respect become crucial to be have, both in the ways of business treats its client, customer, employee, and also in the way its employees treat one another. Trust is also important. Why? Because employees should feel they can trust the business to keep the terms of their employee. Okay, there's two things that have to be explained for the HR experiential problem solving. And the last one that I will talk about is the case on page 33 dealing with HR, culture, and business results success at Google, Scripps, and UPS. The first one that I will talk from this case is the question is, how does the integration of HR with organizational culture contribute to the success of Google, Scripps, and UPS? So we have to answer it one by one. Okay, in my opinion, each company has their own way to treat their employee, of course, but the different ways always lead them to one goal only, that is success. One is Google. In Google, the HR department create flexibility to finish their work, not only statically follow the job requirement. Hence, the people in Google become more innovative and the work in administrative itself become more efficient because they maximize the use of technology. HR also communicate well with every employee about the progress in a company. So I think it is illustrated well how the transparency in Google for the company. Two is Scripps. In Scripps, the HR team gives reward to employees to increase their motivation in working, such as annual incentive. HR also emphasizes leadership development throughout the firm. And additionally, the firm has widely used work variability effort work such as work-life balance. And the last one is UPS. In UPS, the HR team focus on making communication of all employees goes well. They give a code which can be accessed by every employee. This code contains ethical situation and how to overcome them. So employee can also report what ethical problem or issue that they have faced in a year to the HR department. It also illustrates how the transparency between the HR department or also and other department in UPS is very well. Okay, and the second one is I have to discuss about how some of cultural facets mentioned compared to those among employers that I have worked for, and I have to explain the difference in the fields of these various employers. Okay, culture in every in my perspective, culture in every company is different, of course, and the HR aim also. We know that culture in organization is the only thing that will differentiate them from other competitors in the business field. Those three HR teams, that are Google, UPS, and Scripps, have already done their best in making each company become successful. Google, UPS, and Scripps can't be compared because I think they work in different industry, so the culture phases are also different indeed. Google focus on giving comfort and independence to their employee, while UPS giving conduct code so every employee can give their aspiration out toward the ethical problem that they face in a year, so the HR team could know that. And Scripts, they maximize giving support to employee from financial aspect and also skills aspect. I also can't compare their culture facets to employers I have worked for because I don't work and I have not worked yet. So the closing statement for this video is that in this chapter I learned how to manage HR in organization because I have read a lot about HR function, what is HR, what is the difference between HR and human capital, what is the role of HRM in organization, and how to manage HR in organization. There are a lot of new knowledge that I have gained from this chapter 1. So in conclusion, I think HR is needed to be professional in order to manage people well in an organization, whether the organization is profit or non-profit. Why? Because in managing people, we are not only involving critical thinking, but also we have a lot of aspects such as interpersonal skill, teamwork skill, and etc. that really take a huge part in it. So that is the end of my video. Thank you very much for your attention that you have watched this video. I hope you all guys have a good condition and stay healthy for everyone. Thank you and God bless you.